How much money do you think you need to earn per month to be wealthy? $10,000, $100,000, or maybe $1 million? All these are just empty numbers because throughout his career, Mike Tyson earned over $500 million. Yet, in 2003, Tyson declared bankruptcy with debts of $30 million. How could this happen to someone who seemingly had an endless supply of money? As soon as young Tyson began earning significant sums from his fights, his expenses skyrocketed proportionally. He could walk into a Gucci store and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars without ever using those items. Mike mindlessly bought dozens of cars, many of which ended up unused, and indulged in luxury real estate and prohibited substances. All this raises certain thoughts about money. Could it be that no matter what you do, you'll end up a poor person in the end? My name is Mikhail Kolivanov, and in this video, you'll understand how to break free from the cycle of poverty. We all strive to earn more money. Some want to afford everything they desire, regardless of their means, while others want to prove their superiority. But all this leads to endless madness. When it comes to financial management, over 80% of people on Earth live from paycheck to paycheck, regardless of their income level. Yes, you might argue that statistics are dubious, but think about it. How do you manage your finances? When you spend money, do they fulfill their purpose? This notion is fundamentally flawed, believed only by the poor who focus on short-term goals. For such people, momentary pleasure often outweighs everything. For us, a more significant role is played by financial perception than the ability to earn money. By default, human nature does not include financial literacy. But those few who have unlocked this skill gain a tremendous advantage over others. Financial literacy is the magic skill that provides a ticket out of the madness of paycheck to paycheck life. The problem of poverty lies not in how much people earn, but in how they allocate their resources. I had many friends and saw many examples of people who reached great heights, becoming very wealthy from a financial standpoint. But they never learned how to become wealthy. Becoming rich is much easier than being rich. So how do you acquire this magical skill called financial literacy? Think about all the money you've ever spent. How much of it do you have left today? How much of that money have you invested in assets capable of generating passive income? Instead, we continue to waste time and money on trivial pursuits, ruining our health with video games, regular club visits, and nicotine use. Reconsider your expenses, even if you've read countless books on wealth and saved 10% of your income. Ultimately, you'll never become wealthy. 10%, even over an extended period, is a tiny amount. The essence of savings is to spend less than you invest. Those formal 10% are only needed to build a habit. Ideally, you should strive to earn more while maintaining the same level of spending, gradually increasing investments. Real poverty is living on the verge of financial collapse, where one paycheck stands between you and bankruptcy. What will you do if you lose your job or face unforeseen circumstances that force you to leave your current residence? How will you survive with no money in your pocket? How will you pay for the things you've bought on credit and must regularly pay for? Now consider the psychological consequences of living on this financial edge. In a moment, your job becomes, once you start realizing that you're trapped in a vicious circle, eventually the things you own start owning you. People become slaves to their possessions. The secret to success is 1% creativity in what you think and 99% rationalization of what you do. Salvation comes when you start taking your expenses more seriously. Do you track your spending? How do you perceive yourself as a consumer? How do you plan your future expenses? It's about systematizing consumption and finding ways to minimize these things to eventually start living within your means. In other words, start leading a lifestyle that allows you to spend moderately, invest, and have a certain safety net for emergencies. Why do so many people live a lifestyle they can't afford? In the long run, it's a lifestyle filled with the risks of financial ruin, which can hinder us from achieving various goals. This behavior is rooted in human nature. There are numerous cognitive behavioral reasons, like people's tendency to prefer short-term rewards over larger rewards in the future. People depend on society's opinion, and this is the main problem. We follow the behavior model of others, which often leads people to take out loans with huge bank interest rates, buy iPhones, fashionable items, and houses they can't afford, and continue to waste money senselessly. Remember, cheap pleasure isn't worth your credit slavery. Save 3 to 6 months' worth of your monthly expenses in your emergency fund. Many people, like me at the beginning, neglect the emergency fund. But sooner or later, everyone will realize its necessity, like a traveler needing a bottle of water in the middle of the desert. Your emergency fund is like your personal insurance that can protect you and your assets in unforeseen circumstances. Now, when you have an emergency fund, you don't need to worry about tomorrow. You don't need to think about what you'll do if you lose your current residence or job. You've bought yourself time when you formed it. There are many ways to increase your wealth. You can start your own business or invest, but where you'll never fail is investing in yourself. Nothing will change in your life unless you keep expanding your knowledge and applying it to profit. Instead of asking where to invest your $1,000, buy books with it, put it in your emergency fund. It will give you much more profit than if you put it in your brokerage account. Now, you're well-read, have lots of knowledge in investments and business, manage your finances, avoid systematic spending, have an emergency fund, and overall have become much more financially conscious. What's next, you ask? Personally, after all these actions, I started building my capital. My round goal was 1 million rubles. I have a whole video on my channel where I explain in detail what you need to do next. I never understood people who take out loans to prove their false superiority over others. There are goals much higher than showing off clothes and a new phone. Imagine having the opportunity to quit your job at any moment. Imagine not depending on anyone and being able to do what you love without worrying about paying rent to your landlord. You have your own business, your own capital, and limitless possibilities. When you strive for financial independence, you strive for your own freedom. Check out my Telegram channel where I talk about how to become better. This is Qwerlight signing off. Goodbye, everyone.